that soul who incarnated as Jesus. He never came here to be a savior. He came here to be a teacher, a radical teacher of truth, of self-empowerment, to achieve what he knew everyone else has the capacity to achieve. Follow me, I am the way. Never, ever meant or means to worship me with blind faith. That is never what it meant. Follow me, I am the way means I have already achieved these levels of enlightenment, and you can achieve these same levels and more. I will teach you, I will show you the way on how to get there, but you have to accomplish it for yourself. You have to be willing to become what I've already become. So my way of selfless service is to then teach you what you can become. Follow me, I am the way means I'll show you how to do it. I will love you. I will nurture you. I will honor you. I will give you the teachings that you need every step and every level of the way of awakening to become a fully powerful, divine, enlightened being on this planet in order to alchemize and get rid of all of the evil that still exists here on this planet. You have the power to do that. If you knew how to do it, it would already be done. You don't. So follow me. I am the way. I've achieved it. Now it is time to activate the ripple effect and have everyone else and all of humanity achieve that same thing so we can create heaven on earth together. That was true back then when Jesus was alive. It is true today. What we are meant to do and become right here, right now, in this present time, in this new age of Aquarius, to create and live on a higher vibrational frequency planet Earth, which is the new Earth. We are to create it, and you can't create it if you don't become it. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Hello, mystical beings and beautiful souls. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast. I'm Rachel Fiori, your host for this episode. Jesus was no savior, people, and religions are nothing but cults. Let's dive in. Jesus wasn't a goddamn savior. Wake up, wake up, wake up. He was no savior. That's part of religious brainwashing and religious propaganda in order to brainwash you, enslave you, keep you stupid, keep you from developing your own divine connection with source, which is you, because you are God incarnated. Hello. Have you realized this yet? You are God incarnated, period. Okay. She birthed you. She created you. The God of the Bible isn't God. All of this crap, all of the propaganda is to brainwash you, manipulate you, to keep you powerless, small, ignorant, and completely stupid so that you will develop blind faith. Blind faith is not faith. It is not divine faith at all. Blind faith is stupidity. Blind faith is powerlessness. Blind faith is I have no ability to critically think. I have no idea how to energetically connect as the way of connection to my soul, my divinity, in order to connect and become an enlightened being and move through this earthly experience as a powerfully divine enlightened being so that I can help uplift this planet, the beings on it, help heal everything and everyone, help to transform this planet from dark evil, the Satan that is the God of the goddamn Bible, written by a bunch of fucking psychopathic, sexist, misogynistic men who were power hungry, who coveted and were envious of women and their power to divinity, their connection of the power of divinity. Women are the masters of spirituality, people. I mean, Let's just start there. Don't worry, we're going to get to why Jesus was not a savior. And by the way, let me make this clear before we continue. I absolutely love Jesus. He is one of my, if not my favorite human in all of human history. He is remarkable. I have incredible, beautiful things to say in honor of him and what he came here to accomplish. I want to make that very clear. Was he a savior? Fuck no. He was too enlightened for that bullshit. He didn't come here to keep you powerless or worship him like you were less than him and inferior. That isn't what he came here to teach. Wake up. So he was no savior. He didn't come here to save you. He came here to teach you how to save yourself. So I'll get back to that in a minute. Women are the masters of spirituality. Do you understand? They are the masters of spirituality naturally. Women come here with the ability to connect to source energy, to universal energy, to the cosmos in a way that men don't have the ability to do. And that doesn't make men inferior. That's ridiculous. Inequality doesn't actually exist in the cosmos, in the universe. Humans are the dumb ones that create inferior, superior. We create inequality and then we act that reality out because we're powerful, divine God beings in human form, and we can create any kind of reality we want to and then live it out and experience it if that's what we want to experience. So you can go down the rabbit hole of the history of the Bible. I hope you know by now that it is absolute trash and was written by a bunch of psychopathic men, over hundreds of years, revised, rewritten, this taken out, that taken out, and always a little bit of truth. Remember, cults, religions who are the cults of the world always give some degree of varying degrees of truth. Okay, always, because it makes it more believable. All right. And they're brainwashing you to have blind faith instead of what divine faith actually is. The way of loyalty is the 13th of 20 universal ways of oneness. One of the vibrational frequencies that makes up the way of loyalty is the vibrational frequency of divine faith. That's part of that makes up that frequency. That's what I want you to wake up to. Blind faith is no faith. Same thing. Two sides of the same goddamn coin. I don't want any of you having blind faith in anything or anyone, including me. I don't ever ask for that. I'm too enlightened for that crap. No true, authentic teacher would have brainwash you to have blind faith. What they do, true, authentic spiritual teachers have already achieved what you are also capable of achieving. They have already achieved levels of enlightenment far beyond what you have yet to achieve, have yet. True, authentic teachers, spiritual teachers, come here, go through hell. They have to become what they're meant to then teach about. You are no teacher if you haven't become what you're teaching about. If you haven't healed your addictions yet, you cannot call yourself an addiction coach or an addiction therapist. You're not one. You're a fraud. You're a fake. You're a phony. That's not putting you down. You are no coach, no teacher, no therapist, no guide, no nothing, if you haven't yet accomplished what you claim to be teaching or giving therapy to or coaching or guiding others in. Does that make sense? So true, authentic teachers have to walk their talk, just like coaches. If you live in the way of integrity, therapists, you live in the way of integrity and wisdom. You've already become what you're then guiding others in. That's an enlightened society with enlightened people. So true, authentic spiritual teachers, they've already achieved. So everything below in the hierarchy, not a third dimensional old world definition of hierarchy, that's ridiculous nonsense. There's no inferiority at all. There is no vibrational frequency of inferiority or superiority in a spiritual hierarchy, but there is a hierarchy. Of course there is. That doesn't make any sense that there wouldn't be. Like, you're not inferior to me if you're not at my level of consciousness or wisdom yet. your ability to heal yourself. Maybe you haven't really gotten there yet. That just means you're not there yet. You haven't learned, you haven't become it yet. That doesn't make me superior to you. It might make me your teacher, because it's the way of selfless service. I'm here to help. As I rise, I help you rise, because I can teach you everything that I've already accomplished. That is the love and the support of a true spiritual teacher, is they offer their services in those ways. Okay? And that is what Jesus came here to do. That's why he's no goddamn savior. Stop calling him that. It's a fucking blasphemous insult. Literally, that is a blasphemy right there, to call him a savior. He isn't a savior. It is insulting. It's dishonoring. It is not the way of honoring of the 20 ways of oneness. It is not the way of honoring to call him that. He wasn't that. It is insulting. It is disrespectful. It is blasphemous. He needs to be honored for what he came here to do. He had one hell of a job. One of the toughest life missions. Okay? So he achieved and he became the highest level of enlightenment that was offered. That means the highest vibrational frequency of enlightenment that was offered, that could be achieved by any human being at that period of time, during that period of time. And he achieved it. And his sole mission was to, number one, achieve that and become that. And then number two, to teach as a radical teacher what he came here to teach as the way of wisdom. And what he taught was against religion, that it is nothing but a cult. That's what he taught. Those are the truths of his teaching. That the kingdom of heaven can be found within, that you create it. You are it. But you also create the hell to go within and connect to the power you have within yourself. That is an energetic process. That is the authentic process of awakening. That is a process that takes effort, focus, loyalty, responsibility. It is a process that is painful and challenging, as well as blissful and wonderful and exciting and amazing. But it is also very challenging. It is not easy at times, the true path of spiritual awakening. You go through isolation, you go through the hell, you go through the pain, you go through the depression, you go through the ego death after ego death. That's spiritual awakening. It is messy. It can feel chaotic, even though in all authenticity and the way of truth, it's not chaotic, but it can feel very chaotic to your system. You will have physical symptoms with your physical body. The more you elevate, the more enlightened you become, the more you heal. You have physical symptoms where you feel like you're getting sick and fatigue and physical symptoms. You know, you can have diseases and illnesses. They're not really diseases and illnesses, but they're the absolute excreting of, bringing to the surface of things, toxins that need to be healed. That's energetic toxins that are in physical form need to be healed. And your body will go through it. Rashes and allergies and weight gain and weight loss and intolerances to chemicals and foods way worse than ever before. And you'll go through different phases of fatigue and headaches and just the level of exhaustion, not to mention the emotional phases that you'll go through sometimes, where you feel extraordinarily isolated and lonely. Even though you're never alone, you'll still feel loneliness, depression, anxiety. This is all part of awakening and healing authentically. It is a rough ride. Okay. And because religions are the major cults of the world that rule the world, and they're made up of a bunch of sadistic psychopaths, they don't want you to have the support, the love of true, authentic spiritual teachers. They want you to pray to a savior to save you. That isn't what Jesus was. That's not what he came here to be. He never became that. He actually achieved enlightenment. You are not an enlightened being, and you ever think you're here to save anybody. You're here to teach people the power they have within, to guide them, to support them with your teachings on how to heal themselves. And that doesn't mean that a particular teacher, a particular messiah, a true high priestess, it doesn't mean that being doesn't necessarily know how to create miracles or to heal you instantly. And some of that can come along with it. That part, absolutely. Some of that can come along with it. And that is there for a reason. Those abilities are there for a reason. It doesn't mean one person, in this case, talking about Jesus, it doesn't mean that one man, that one person came here, could heal every single person. He's only one person. Do you understand? His true teachings came to warn you and offer you the truth about government, meaning the powers that be, the rulers at the time, and about religions and the truth about what religions were. That they pray to a false God. That's not the real God. The source creator of all that is not the God of the Bible. And you can go down your rabbit hole, and there's all the research to prove it. So go down your rabbit holes. That book is a book of demonic worship mixed in with truth, of course. There's always going to be truth in there, some truth in there. Satan, evil, the God that wanted to be the God, who manipulated and brainwashed mankind, that is the God of the Bible. There is no being of light that would command misogyny to be carried out. It doesn't even make any fucking sense, because women are the ones who are masters of spirituality. Period. End. That we are the creators and bringers of life. Women are. Men can't do that. You don't have that. Women are the creators of life. And in order to be the creators of life, we are naturally tapped in and connected to the universe, to source, in ways that men cannot be. Do you understand? Not possible. You're a man. You're not a woman. You're something different. It doesn't mean you're any less divine, but you're different. You are the masters of the material world. You're the ones who are supposed to carry out and create in physical form what the women teach you and guide you. We're the ones who can tune in and tap in like this without even having to try. Women are the spiritual masters. Men are the physical, material masters. That's how we balance each other. That's how it's meant to be. So when I tell you that the true, now your egos are going to fuck this up. Don't let your egos fuck this up and move you away from truth. When you can't get out of inequality, you're immediately going to take what I say and misinterpret it, some of you, and try to make it look like men are these pathetic fucking pieces of shit that are inferior to women. And if you do that, that is your level of consciousness. That is your fuck up. That is not what I'm teaching. Did I make that clear enough before I continue? Guys, open your hearts, for Christ's sake. We are meant to evolve and elevate out of all of this crap and trash and fighting and violence and murder and rape and all of it. The misogyny, the patriarchy comes from Satan, an evil entity that religions worship, pray to, and manipulate other people to pray to and worship, and they don't have a fucking clue they're doing it. Those are the cults of the world, and those are also the cults that teach you and brainwash you to believe that Jesus is your savior. He's not a fucking savior. That is insulting and blasphemous. Stop it. Become the way of honoring and honor that man for what he was. He was an incredible and enlightened, loving, powerful being who was a radical teacher who came here to teach you the truth that the church didn't want you to know, which is why they hunted him down, tried to kill him as a baby, but killed an entire village of babies instead to try to get to him. And they hunted him his whole life because they knew he was coming to hopefully end what they had created on this planet. Does this sound a little bit familiar? What has been created on this planet, and we're now here to end it at this point in time. I want you to open your hearts and understand, as I come full circle back to what I said a couple minutes ago. Women, our role, we are the spiritual masters, which means we are the teachers, we are the guides. This patriarchal guru, men only are the gurus bullshit. They can't tap into what women can tap into. So it doesn't mean you don't have an elevated, spiritually wise man that you might listen to or call your guru or get guidance from. But that's like the equivalence of, I have a high school education and I am so educated. You're not. No, you're not, because you don't have, and don't take this literally. Our schools are indoctrination bullshit. I'm not talking about that. I'm using this as an analogy because it's easy to understand. You're not educated with only a high school level of education at all. And a college level of education is not all that impressive. There is a lot to learn. So you learn at higher levels and higher levels and higher levels. And it doesn't mean you're inferior if you don't go get the doctorate or beyond. That's not what this is. Inequality doesn't exist here, remember? Don't let your mind trick you. But women are the ones to take you to those highest levels because they're the ones that naturally tap in and can gain that level of wisdom. It moves through them in the way that it doesn't for men. Why? Men have a fucking different purpose. It's that simple. That doesn't make anybody not equal. Just because we're different doesn't mean any group of person or people are inferior to the other group. Do you understand? So when women are masters of the universe, masters of spirituality, we are the master mystics. Isn't it fucking funny that unconscious, psychotic, psychopathic men got real jealous of that, coveted that, and decide to dominate and write women out of history completely and enslave them and not allow them to have any rights? Funny, we're regressing and going back to that now in 2024. It's because of unconscious psychopathic men who are not evolved and most likely will never evolve. When men actually discover, when they heal themselves and they discover their true nature, which is, of course, simply put, is divine nature. You're a divine, beautiful being. You are God incarnated as well, just as women are. Women are incarnated to be the master teachers, the leaders of the world. Because you ask me a question, I'm instantly connected to the universe to give you the wisdom, the answer. Women can naturally do that easily. Men are meant to look to women to lead them for the answers, for the guidance. Because while women are busy connecting energetically, and all of their energy and all of their selfless service is for humanity in that way, while I'm connected and doing all these things psychically and energetically, and your job is to carry it out in the physical form. You are the masters of physical form. So I'm busy gathering all the wisdom and the energetics and the guidance and the teachings and the elevated everything, levels of consciousness, to teach you, guide you, bring you up higher and higher for the best interest of you and all beings on the planet. That's how women function. Women are naturally of oneness consciousness because we are connected to the universe, which is oneness consciousness. We don't function in this separation, inequality, inferior, superior. One's better than the other. One needs to dominate the other. We have to compete. That is absolute childish fucking bullshit. And we live in the upside down world. And if we live in the upside down world where men are the leaders and men are in charge, look at what they've done with it. I mean, hello, the proof is in the pudding. All the results of men being in charge and leading all over the world show you exactly how well they do. They are not connected. And it doesn't mean you have zero connection to divinity. That's ridiculous. So don't go into dualistic separation consciousness and misinterpret my teaching. I'm not teaching you that. Never once said that. Every human being has the ability to connect. It's what we teach. It's what I teach. We teach you energetically how to do it, from the first beginner, most basic learner to the most advanced people and everything in between. That's our university, our mystical university. This is what we teach you. Okay. So never once have I said, or have you heard me say, that men don't have the ability to connect and receive the guidance and receive intuition from their own soul. We teach you how to do that. I want you to do that. You have the ability. You are very capable of tapping into the universe. Of course you are. I'm never saying you're not. What I'm saying is, compared to women, women are the masters of that. Easily, naturally, they don't have to try. You have to try really hard to get there. And those of you that try really hard to get there, and even the ones that, again, they're teachers and then they're gurus in the world, they don't scratch the surface compared to what true women gurus, and I'm not even going to call them, I don't like that word. That's old world. It's outdated. Get rid of it. You don't have to get rid of it. I'm just telling you, in the new earth, that doesn't really exist anymore. Your true teachers, whatever you want to call them, your spiritual teachers, the enlightened gurus, the messiahs, the priestesses, the highest level of enlightened beings that are actual teachers here to guide you and teach you and help you in this world. Those are women. Period. End. There's no comparison to what women can achieve and accomplish when it comes to that compared to what men can achieve and accomplish. And men have to work 10 times harder to achieve and accomplish that. And they usually do it very forcefully through things like breath work, because you have to force yourself to get there. Women just naturally breathe and are there. And I have to force myself to breathe in a certain way to try to become enlightened. It's just like this. Energetically, you're just there. And then somebody asks me a question, immediately I'm connected to every aspect of the universe. Multiple dimensions, multiple portals, the cosmos. Just I'm connected, boom. And from whatever dimension, from whatever portal you need to hear the answer, that's what happens in a class that I teach. That's what happens in a one-on-one coaching session, in a group coaching, in any of our classes. That's what happens. That's how I function. And that is how women naturally function. Why? We are the bringers of life. You are only here because we birthed you. You are only alive because of women. What does that mean? It means we have to be connected to the universe in order to bring divine, powerful aspects of source energy into our own physical bodies in order to combine pure divine light of God, combine that with physical matter, which is our own body, grow an entire life and birth that life into existence. So men, you will never have what we have, which is why we are the actual real leaders of the world. Men are the masters of the material world. It's why men get your sexist shit out of here. I am never saying women can't do certain jobs. I am never saying men can't do certain jobs other than give birth. Obviously, no man can do any of that a woman can do, obviously. That goes without saying. Other than that, to be a caregiver, for example, men can do that. I'm never saying in any way, any level of sexism here or inequality. Okay. The way of equality is one of the universal ways of oneness. Period. End. The way of equality. That universal way of oneness automatically already exists. It's the vibrational frequency of these teachings. If you insert or project inequality, that is your programming. That is your lower level of consciousness. The way of equality, number 9 out of 20 ways of oneness, that doesn't exist here, no matter what you think you hear. Not what I'm teaching. So the first way of oneness is the way of responsibility. Take responsibility for your misinterpretations of what I'm teaching to you. I'm never teaching inequality. I don't come from that. I don't vibrate at that frequency. Get out of here with that bullshit. Okay? Save us all a lot of time and annoyance. So if you can understand that at least a little bit, no such thing as inequality here. It allows you to open up and become over time the way of honoring that men are meant to be naturally the masters, that's why you're physically built. Your bodies are physically bigger than ours. You're bigger and stronger naturally because you're meant to do the hard labor and the building and carrying out the material world. We are masters of the spiritual world. Men are supposed to be masters of the material world. Now, I am offering this teaching to you in a very, I'm simplifying it because this is just a podcast. It's not one of our classes that you're going to spend, 10 or 12 weeks with me on energetically learning this, like literally learning on an energetic level. It's just the podcast. There's only so much I can offer in an episode of a podcast. Okay. Which is why I simplify it here. But because I am simplifying it, don't get trapped in duality and low level of consciousness of misinterpreting. Okay. So men are meant to be naturally the masters of the material world, as I've mentioned several times now. You're meant to look to women for leadership and then carry out because they're the ones naturally connected to the wisdom of the universe. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Life would be so simple if we just followed the divine order of things. And that never, ever, ever means that women cannot or do not carry out certain tasks. In certain civilizations over the centuries, women were hunters with men, and women were actually the teachers of how to hunt. So women hunted with men. Women were not just the hunters along with men. They were the teachers of how to hunt because women hunt very differently. And also, all the research and evidence shows they hunted way more successfully than men did. You know why? Because men would go try to do things like by themselves or with two of them. Women know and come from, because we come from the wisdom of the universe, it flows through us. We know how to teach, to guide, to lead, to direct you. Because hunting in a group is far more effective than hunting solo. Hunting in groups, look at what lions do to hunt. The lioness is the leader. She leads. She literally leads the hunt. Everybody follows her lead because she is the wise one. She knows exactly where everybody needs to be, what to do, how to do it, goes in for the kill, and then once they make a dent and start making progress, her or the females are done, and the male lions come in. They were with them the whole time. They come in and finish the job, and the females back off and get to relax, and they let the men finish the kill. Always being guided by the females. Okay. Women, females are naturally connected to the wisdom of the universe. We are the wisdom of the universe. And we're here to teach that and share that in the way of selfless service. Period. End. Because we come from oneness. So women in over centuries, in tribes and in certain enlightened civilizations, they were absolutely the leaders of those civilizations. And leader doesn't mean they're superior to you. It means we hold different roles. And your soul chose to be the master of the universe, the master of spirituality, and a guide and a leader and a whatever, and in woman form, or you chose to be the master of the material, where you chose to incarnate as a man, as a male, to be the bigger, stronger of the genders because you were going to carry out different roles. Now, in our psychopathic, patriarchal, dominating, misogynistic, cult, brainwashing system, global system of enslavement and inequality, you're like, oh, yeah, see, I know. I'm supposed to go out and do this. You're supposed to stay home. You're supposed to be barefoot and pregnant. Meh, meh, meh. I never fucking said that. Don't be an idiot. I didn't say that. Doesn't even make any sense. And if that's what you think, you can't even begin to comprehend more elevated teachings around this so that we can elevate and become what we're supposed to become. We live in the upside down world. We have to right side everything. Everything's got to be put right. We got to flip it over, put it right side up. And we can't do that if you stay at your low level of consciousness. We can't do that if you, oh, my teacher's a man and I only listen to men. Well, I'm sorry for you that you're only willing to ever achieve a high school level of spirituality, so to speak. You're deciding to keep yourself low because that's not what men are here to do on the planet. That's not what they're for. And it doesn't mean going to high school and getting to that degree. That's magnificent. You'll never earn a doctorate if you don't pass elementary school, junior high school, and high school. I'm not saying it's bad. Don't you, again, don't misinterpret my teachings and project onto me. It only makes you sound dumb when you write that crap in the comments. It's not what I'm teaching. But we're in the wrong roles. Okay. And again, you can go to the teachers that offer you the rabbit holes of the stuff that are very specific on who wrote the Bible. The Bible's full of crap. It's psychopathic, men who want to rule the whole world and create a slave race because that's what they've done. That's what religions are. Jesus came here to teach you otherwise. He came here to wake you up to the truth. He came here to wake you up to what divine feminine actually is, what sacred feminine energy is. And the reason why he came in a form of a man way back then is because way back then, no one would ever listen to a fucking woman at all, ever, for any reason. He knew that, which is why he incarnated as a man. He knew that only people would listen to men at that point in time. Do you really think Jesus is going to come back, reincarnate as the second coming, as a fucking man when patriarchy is meant to be dismantled and fall? It wouldn't be a man taking you into a new age, would it? Like, come on. You haven't figured that one out yet. I shouldn't even have to say that out loud. Shouldn't even have to say it. Should be fucking obvious. And yet, people talk about the second coming. They're looking for a man. You cannot continue to be this stupid. Incarnating as a man back then was 100% appropriate, needed. It was necessary. It was a calculated choice by divinity, by the souls who came here to support that mission, to support that person, that soul who incarnated as Jesus. And he never came here to be a savior. He came here to be a teacher, a radical teacher of truth, of self-empowerment, to achieve what he knew everyone else has the capacity to achieve. Follow me, I am the way. Never, ever meant or means to worship me with blind faith. That is never what it meant. Follow me, I am the way means I have already achieved these levels of enlightenment, and you can achieve these same levels and more. I will teach you, I will show you the way on how to get there, but you have to accomplish it for yourself. You have to be willing to become what I've already become. So my way of selfless service is to then teach you what you can become. Follow me. I am the way means I'll show you how to do it. I will love you. I will nurture you. I will honor you. I will give you the teachings that you need every step and every level of the way of awakening to become a fully powerful, divine, enlightened being on this planet in order to alchemize and get rid of all of the evil that still exists here on this planet. You have the power to do that. If you knew how to do it, it would already be done. You don't. So follow me. I am the way. I've achieved it for myself. Now it is time to activate the ripple effect and have everyone else and all of humanity achieve that same thing so we can create heaven on earth together. That was true back then when Jesus was alive. It is true now today. What we are meant to do and become right here, right now, in this present time, in this new age of Aquarius, to create and live on a higher vibrational frequency planet Earth, which is the new Earth. We are to create it, and you can't create it if you don't become it. There is no one here to treat you like you're a fucking powerless child and do it all for you while you sit on your fucking asses and call me, whoever I am, the person over here, the savior, the Jesus, the whatever. I'm not a savior. I'm not a Messiah. Not in that sense. Misinterpretation of Messiah. Jesus never came here saying that as the Messiah, the true definition of what that means was never, I'm your savior, sit passively by like your children, and I'll do everything fucking for you. Get out of here. Use critical thinking. Wasn't true then, isn't true now. No one is coming here as a second coming to save you. They are coming here to teach you the power that you have of pure divinity and to stop being brainwashed by governments and religious cults, to critically think and connect to your true divine power, and hopefully to evolve into the roles that you were meant to have here and not misinterpret what that means. Because that is how we create a new earth, a high vibe, enlightened global society, one where, guess what, women lead. And that is never coming from a place of superiority. It only ever comes from oneness consciousness. And if you're ready to learn what that means and become it yourself to reach your highest level of enlightenment that you can become, follow, like, share, subscribe, do all the things, hit all the buttons, and go to mastersofselfuniversity.com. All of our mystical classes where we teach you step by step how to do all of this and more. We are offering in 2025. That's our student enrollment, new school year for 2025. Go to mastersofselfuniversity.com, check it out, enroll now as a student, or set up a free consultation with a student advisor so you can learn more about what we offer you at MSU. I hope to see you there. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.